Live, local, late breaking. This is Newswatch 12 this morning.
Good morning. The time is 6:30 on February 25th. Welcome to Newswatch 12 this morning. I'm Carlos Murrieta. And right now we're taking a live look out at Mount Shasta from the Mount Shasta Resort. And right now we first want to turn over to Storm Alert Weather 12 meteorologist Sarah Kress for a look at our Wednesdays. And Sarah, where are we seeing rain this morning?
Well, this morning we're seeing rain mainly along the Cascades and into our west side areas, but much less of it compared to what we were dealing with yesterday morning. I want to take a closer look in here. Notice we're seeing some of those showers along the Cascades. Snow levels around about 5,500 to about 5,000 feet, mainly up towards Diamond Lake Junction is where we're maybe seeing a mix over into snow, but some lighter showers this morning you may encounter heading out the door. A live look out at Klamath Falls, you can see we're dealing with plenty of clouds, even if you're not seeing those showers this morning, and temperatures are feeling pretty mild, sitting at 42, getting ready to head out the door. So much nicer than some of those mornings we've had previous this week, and especially in the weeks prior. So over into Ashland, you're sitting at 48, Medford 50, Montague at 43 this morning, and 50s along the coast. Out to the bus stop, do expect to encounter maybe some showers this morning, and some areas of fog we're looking at have developed into our west side areas. By the time you are heading home from school, it will be pretty mild and will be drying out. Most of the showers will be wrapped up, and then we're going to settle in for some dry conditions over the next few days. So overall today, highs are going to be pretty close to normal and feeling on the mild side. Maybe just take a light jacket out with you today. As we head into the next few, we are expected to see calmer conditions. Winds will be a bit breezier today though along the Cascades and east side, but then notice as we switch over into overnight, conditions are going to be settling right on down. We do have some concerns though when it does come to tomorrow morning, even though we are going to be on the drier side. I'll let you know just what to expect in the days ahead, all coming up in just a bit. Carlos?
Thank you, Sarah. Moving into our top story this morning, a SWAT response in Medford after police say a domestic violence case quickly escalated into a standoff. Now, Newswatch 12 was on the scene for hours as officers locked down the area. Now, the investigation started on the 400 block of South Columbus Avenue after a reported assault. Police say the victim told officers the suspect, a convicted felon, had guns inside the home. This gave authorities probable cause for several charges, including domestic violence assault. Officers then secured the neighborhood, deployed drones, and served a search warrant with help from a canine unit. But after searching that home, police say the suspect was not found.
After we finally got the search warrant, we then loud hailed, asked him to surrender. We did end up forcing entry through the front door. We used some chemical munitions to try and force him out. Ultimately, we ended up hand clearing both the trailer and the residence, and he was not there. There's a slight window of when he could have gotten out before we actually got the containment.
The investigation is still ongoing. And we've been following the financial struggles at Southern Oregon University, and Governor Kotek held a press conference and addressed that situation. Governor Kotek says state leaders are aware of the university's challenges and are discussing possible solutions. Local leaders across the Rogue Valley are calling for state action as SOU faces a major cash flow crisis. Officials say the university could see a $4 million shortfall by the end of the fiscal year. Mayors and county leaders say the school is a key economic driver for Southern Oregon, supporting thousands of jobs and generating hundreds of millions of dollars each year in Jackson County. Governor Kotek was asked on House Bill 4124, a potential funding package for the university.
SU is an important institution for our state and for the southern region of our state. And they are challenged at the moment with the fiscal crisis. I'm very aware of that. We are monitoring that. There's a conversation right now. And it's going to require the university to really look at what they're doing and what the future holds for them and what that university will look like 5, 10 years, 15 years down the line.
The governor says these financial pressures are not unique to Southern Oregon, as universities across the country are dealing with lower enrollment and long-term sustainability questions. But for now, state lawmakers and university leaders continue discussions on what support could look like. Newswatch 12 asked Governor Kotek about IP28 that could potentially ban hunting and fishing, but her press team said she has not read that measure. New this morning, Representative Dwayne Yunker presented House Bill 4160 before the Senate Education Committee after successfully passing the House. Now, according to the representative, the bill strengthens cardiac emergency preparedness in Oregon schools, including the placement of AEDs. This helps ensure staff are ready to respond if an emergency occurs. It also requires athletic coaches and other staff to be trained in CPR and the use of AEDs.
House Bill 4160 asks a simple but critical question. If a cardiac emergency occurs in one of our schools, are the adults in the room prepared to respond? Sudden cardiac arrest does not wait for an ambulance. Survival depends on the first few minutes. Rapid recognition, immediate CPR, and access to an automatic external defibrillator or AED.
Now moves to a work session tomorrow, and if proved, it will advance to the Senate floor for a final vote. And if passed there, the bill would take effect on July 1st of 2027. And Representative Cliff Bentz is continuing to push for the Fix Our Forests Act, speaking in the Natural Resources Subcommittee on Water, Wildlife, and Fisheries hearing. Bentz highlighted the Darlene 3 fire, which burned more than 3,800 acres near Lapine in 2024. He identified the closeness of power lines to trees as a major contributor to the fire. He also emphasized the need to remove trees in close proximity, but the authority to remove those trees is within the U.S. Forest Service, which requires a lengthy permitting process. Bentz argued that the Fix Our Forests Act would shorten that permitting process, reducing long-term fire risk across much of our region.
If we can get the permissions to go ahead and manage our forests, very proactively in cooperation with the federal agencies and have a permit that allows us to do our job and go make our right-of-ways safe for what is there to protect the infrastructure, we can accomplish great things together with the Forest Service. We believe there's an opportunity to work together.
Bentz has previously emphasized that the FOFA bill could impact the affordability of insurance across Oregon and California. The bill was introduced in the House on January 16th and is currently being reviewed in the Senate. The city of Klamath Falls is reminding the community that the deadline for grant funding to support community-driven initiatives is fast approaching. Now, through 2 funding opportunities, one of those programs is the Economic Development Grant Program. It's designed to fund efforts such as business retention and expansion, building downtown and neighborhood vibrancy, and develop housing. Applications are also open for community initiative funding and event sponsorship funding. The last day to apply is on March 1st. And an update on trail closures along the Rogue River after the Moon Complex fire. Now, some areas are reopening, but parts of a popular trail are still closed. The Forest Service says many campsites along the lower Rogue River corridor are now back open. However, a section of the Rogue River Trail from the western trailhead to Jackson Creek will remain closed for now. Officials say fire damage, including burned bridges and unstable ground, makes the area unsafe. The next section of trail is expected to reopen by May 1st as crews continue repairs. Announced that Bluebird Park will be closed today and tomorrow, which will impact access to businesses in the area. The park will be closed behind Scout along the creek as city crews complete maintenance. The Parks and Rec Department asks anyone visiting businesses in the area to use a different route. And when winter hit last week, ODOT crews set up a chain enforcement operation at Klamath Falls and Ashland to make sure everyone was chained up. Now, during that 6.5-hour operation, crews issued 6 warnings and 33 citations, 29 of which were for failure to use chains when required. Even though crews were limited, ODOT is reminding drivers to carry chains when inclement weather hits. Truck drivers failing to use chains can be fined $880 for not having an appropriate set of chains. So be sure to visit TripCheck for current road and weather conditions and more on the state's chain requirements. And we've been tracking fundraising efforts to keep Rogue Rock Gym open since they announced their closure last week. And with more than $38,000 raised, the gym says they are actively working towards reopening in the coming days and stabilizing operations. The gym says the financial struggles are rooted in debt from COVID, servicing that debt, and rising operation costs. Their fundraising goal is now $40,000 to cover 3 months of rent, payroll, to bring back staff, and immediate operating expenses. The gym hopes to transition to new ownership focused on long-term stability.